Okay, today I'm going to do a video on frustrated. Being frustrated with yourself, with your team. This is a really common topic when it comes to network marketing. Because you're really in a volunteer business, you work for yourself and no one's telling you what to do or how to do anything. So it's a little bit different than traditional business. So let's talk about being frustrated. Your team is a reflection of you. That's the first thing I can tell you. If you are frustrated with your team, when you're pointing that finger at your team, there's 4 fingers pointing back at you, and you always want to look at what is going on with you when you're frustrated. Because I will tell you, from years of network marketing and other businesses, it's a lot easier to just brush that attitude off and go out there and do what you do best rather than counting on other people to pull the wagon for you. So when you're frustrated with your team, a couple things I want you to look at. How is your own attitude? How is your own attitude during this process? How much time are you working the business? And when I say that, a lot of times, people think they're working their business a lot, but they're just thinking about it a lot. So if you're still earning a paycheck in Plexus or any business you're in, if you're still earning a paycheck and yet you're frustrated, but you look at your time and you're only working 1 hour a week, you can't be too frustrated with your efforts. If your boss told you, I'm going to pay you 20 hours for 20 hours, I'm going to give you 20 hours of a paycheck for 20 hours of work, that's what you would expect. So why do we expect to just think about it and be frustrated and want our team to do it, and we're doing nothing and we're expecting to get a paycheck? I'm not sure why we do that, but we do that. Make sure that you're matching your time and effort to your paycheck. Don't be mad at yourself if you're not bringing home, say a couple thousand a month, but you're not working the hours needed to do that. Productive hours, okay? It's a true test when your warm market has worn off. You're new in something, you're going through your family, your friends, their friends, your warm market. It's a true test to see who really sticks with something like this after that market has worn off. Because you may think you're being productive in those beginning stages of working your warm market. You are being productive, but it's coming a lot easier to you than really having to work a colder market. So at that point, that's when you have to kind of say, am I willing to personally grow? And that's my number 3 here. So we'll go back to number 2. Number 2 is events and training and calls. Are you attending events? Are you bringing guests to events? Are you holding events? There's no level you get to where it's like, okay, you're at the magic level, you should know how to do an event. You can do an event whenever you decide to start doing events. Just make sure you know what you're doing, you're educated on the product, you've studied your back office, you feel good about your presentation. Training, are you offering training to your team? I'm not saying are you training your team necessarily. You can be, but you can also just be sending them to resources to get trained. I do a lot of videos, and many other people do videos. Your back office is amazing, so just be sure that you're giving your team the resources and where to get plugged in, okay? The conference calls that we offer, those are priceless. Are you on the calls? It's funny, I always notice that I always know who's on the calls because we have a log and everything on the back in our conference calling back office. So when I do a conference call, I always know who's on it. But then when I see the leaders who tell their team to be on the call and they're not on the call, or they ask me about the same thing I talked about the night before, that tells me they're not on the call. So how can you expect your team to do something you're not willing to do? So it's just, actions speak louder than words. We all know that. The third thing is personal growth in network marketing. In the beginning, you may have gotten into network marketing and you work through your family and friends, you're excited, you have a great story, and things are rocking and rolling. Maybe you've gotten a few team members who are just, racehorses. They took off, they're running in the business. That's great. But that can only take you so far. It can only get you to a certain place, a certain level, and then the frustration will set in. And that's because you probably need at that point some more personal growth, leadership skills, learning the answers to common questions. You need to stop and decide, am I willing to grow? If you work for someone else, they are going to train you. They are going to send you to trainings. They're going to make you do online trainings. I know in the businesses that I've been in that were not network marketing, they trained us well. They sent us to trainings. We traveled. We did online. Someone would come in and train us. We were constantly being trained, and we had ongoing training all the time. So why is it we think in network marketing, especially when we're our own boss, that we just have arrived and we just should know everything? We constantly have to make a decision to better ourselves, to further our education in network marketing. It just makes sense. So, personal growth in this business, I think, is one of the, I don't think you can go all the way to where you want to go in the business and be very effective and take lots of people with you to that level without having a lot of personal growth. It's my belief. You getting there is one thing, but then being able to influence and inspire hundreds of other people to reach the level you have is another ball game. So, all right. Number 4, are you grateful? A big one. There's a difference in being dissatisfied and still being happy. You can be happy. You need to be happy and grateful for where you are in order for you to move forward. Because if you're not grateful, you have a bad attitude. And when you have a bad attitude, you're not going to go very far. Something called pride also can be in your way. If you find that you're constantly frustrated and you're blaming your team and you're not grateful and you have a bad attitude, you probably have a lot of pride issues as well. So get the pride out of the way. Your hope and prayer should be that you sponsor people in the business that are better than you. That should be your hope. Everyone should want that. But if you have some pride issues, you probably aren't wanting that. And you're just shooting your own foot off if you have pride. So being grateful, having a grateful heart is really the key to moving forward. Until you are, you're never going to go any further. Some people complain that they're not growing. Their teams are not growing. They're frustrated. But if they really evaluated what's going on, they're not working the business right now, but they're still making great money. They don't have any time right now to work it. They're not willing to choose to personally grow. Choose to invest in yourself. Go online, look at what kind of conference is coming up. If you have to drive or fly there, if it's to invest in bettering you as a leader in this industry, it's worth it. It's a tax write-off. It's an investment in yourself. It's building your resume. It can only help you. So you must see it that way. Sometimes there are great investments and sometimes there's not. Personal growth is a great investment. You're the only one who will never leave yourself. And so when you can better yourself, why wouldn't you want to live with a better you, right? All right. Where else, I want to say, when you're in that frustrated mode, experiencing what I just talked about, where else can you be in that frame of mind and still earn an incredible paycheck? Some of you are earning fabulous money, and you're not trading any time for that money. That's called residual income. That's network marketing, and you've got to be grateful for that, and you got to reevaluate where you're going, where you are, where you're going, and what you need to do to keep that going. Because trust me, it is worth it. It is worth it. All right. Number 5. I'm going to say this in 2 ways. You are the best person on your team, typically. But are you the best person on your team? Ask yourself that. Are you the best? Did you build this business to where it is today? And if you did, then yay for you. You should be able to start over completely with where you are. If you don't like the way your team looks, you ought to be able to go build another one. If you lost everything you had, you ought to be able to go build it again and build it better, right? And are you the best at this type of business? If your boss said, I'm going to pay you $100,000 a year, but you must go to this training, learn this, be on this conference call, go to this event, attend convention, do this, do that, but I'm going to give you $100,000 a year, and you can have all the free time off you need to, and you can travel, and you can, earn things and have a great life. Are you willing to do that? But you can't expect to grow this business unless you're willing to put the time into it. So stop being frustrated and get inspired to be the best you can be. It's the same with products. Get inspired to be the healthiest you can be this year so you can transfer that to other people. So I say let's make it a great year because it's 2014 and this is our dress rehearsal year. Have a great day.